well, 13 actually, I decided he and I could not teach anymore. By then, I was doing probably 3 days of the week, and I had tutors who were doing other days of the week. And he and I would argue. He knew it all. He told me I would explain something to him, and he would look back at me, and he'd do this rolling eyes kind of thing. And the one time I nearly lost it, I can remember picking up a pencil. Now, I've never hit a Lano. I do not believe in that. We've always discussed things. He's been allowed to have an opinion, always, as long as he does it with respect. He can say what he likes. Well, this time, he did not. He rolled his eyes, and he disagreed with what I explained. I remember taking a pencil, Hugo, and I leaned over him and hit him on the head with a pencil. And I said to him, I have had enough. I said, time for you to go. And I left. I said to him, I'm leaving. I went to go and hang washing. I was so mad. About 2 hours later, he came back to me and he said to me, I'm sorry, Mom. I said, now you will figure it out yourself. You clearly know better than I do. And then I realized he needed to go. We needed a gap. 6 months at a little school. Again, Alano had never been to a mainstream school, ever. He'd never said yes, sir, no, sir. He had never worn a uniform. And I thought, I can't put him into a mainstream school. I can't send him to any of St. Peter's or St. John's or anything. He would fall apart. So I found this little school in Edenvale, 10 kids in a class, small, using the GDE equivalent, as well, going back. Alano did Xhosa. He didn't do Afrikaans. Now I had to put him into the school where Afrikaans was available and not Xhosa. So I chose something small. Well, that lasted 6 months. It was harder for me to put him into school, and it was more anxiety-driven for him to be at school than for me to homeschool him. Because I had to trust schools, principals, teachers, not to destroy him again. And I remember going into this principal's office and telling her just that, and saying to her, please believe me, I'm a hands-on mom. I am giving you Alano to go and educate him for his high school, because this is what he needs right now. I said, but believe me, I'm in your office if I don't like what I see. I said, now we'll be here to compliment you as well. 7 months, out he went. And that is when I took him out. And the woman, she still said to me, when are you taking him out? I said, tomorrow. I said, he's going tomorrow. What are you going to do? I said, I got this planned. And that's when we did Cambridge. Is it cheaper to homeschool? No, it's not cheaper to homeschool. In time and in money and in discipline. You have to be disciplined and you have to have a structure. And you have to find that one that suits your child and you. And you can't deviate. School is from 8 o'clock until 2 o'clock. Alano never did homework. Ever. Ever. So for him, homework was totally foreign. Didn't need to. Initially, I said on a Monday and a Thursday, so I worked, again, school. School ran from 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So on days, Tuesday, and these in the beginning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I did not work. I worked from 1:30 until 5 on those particular days. On a Monday and a Thursday, I worked full days, and I worked Saturdays. When it started, the subject started getting a little bit more complicated for me. And there was a lot that I could do, but I had to remember back to my matric, and things have changed. The curriculum has increased. The what we're going to call the syllabus has got so big, huge. I couldn't even understand half of my stuff anymore. Then when I got in full-time tutors, then I put my business on. Then I could work Monday to Friday because I was not going to have to do the teaching, but overseeing it. And I will tell you, the responsibility I felt for Alano's education was huge. It wasn't Sergio. It wasn't the school. It was me and my responsibility for that. And sometimes that was incredibly overwhelming. I would think, I don't know what have I taken on? But in the long run, I still think it was the best thing for us. School, in that instance, was great because we could run it around. So when he needed to go to galas, when we were away for a week, it was simple and quick. We could work out the school curriculum for that, figure out where we needed to go and do what he needed to do. There was also days, on Fridays, I don't feel like working today. Can we go and do something different? Of course you could. As long as we've done the work from Monday to Thursday, it doesn't matter. We can take Fridays off. I used to know somebody I used to get a lot of my books for, resources also. Now, also much easier to find. Whereas beforehand, I had a whole bunch of different curriculums. particularly in his junior school. I grouped a whole lot of stuff together. I bought, I found, I researched. That was easy. We would just take it with us when we needed to do it. And once it was done, it was fixed. He used to love puzzles. So that was incorporated. Alano loved projects. So we would take a subject and we would do a project that was totally non-curricular at all. And just say he did one on Formula One versus Formula Renault motor car. He had to do the whole thing, research it, put it together in a whole thing. We did one on guitars. How is an electric versus an acoustic guitar? Because that was his interest. When he first started, he was all into dinosaurs. He was 7. Dinosaurs were the thing. And Janice then did maths, English, geography, history, everything based around dinosaurs. Everything. Themed. And then thereafter, he was into knights. Well, Janice, this is why I said this Montessori lady, she's not a Montessori, but she was Montessori. She was the best kind of educator. They took him to the castle in Kyalami. They came back and they made swords and a helmet and a shield. And I would walk, and she would be jousting down my driveway because Alana and her were now acting out the story and the theme. So he was allowed to do that until high school. And high school was a different thing. And so sometimes I think in some ways school would have been better for him in high school more than junior school. Yeah.